Gershom Bassey, Cross River South. The Senate notes that in 2001, the federal government of Nigeria provided a fiscal incentive package to Addax Petroleum Company that saw the reduction of the company's Petroleum Profit Tax from 85% in 1998 production sharing contract to 60% in the 2001 Fiscal Incentive Package. And the company's share of oil lifting increased from about 45% to 56%. The Senate further notes that Addax Petroleum followed through by investing to grow production from 10,000 barrels per day in 2000 to over 100,000 barrels per day in 2008. Aware that Sinopec purchased the Addax Petroleum Nigeria Production Sharing Contract in 2009, further aware that from the purchase by Sinopec in 2009, the assets have witnessed significant production decline due to poor investment decision-making, production levels to fall presently to approximately 30,000 barrels per day with no developed gas. The Senate observes that Sinopec-Addax, despite holding a 100% production sharing contract with oil mining leases, OML 123, OML 124, OML 126, has refused to stick to its end of the bargain to continue investing in the operated assets, leading to a revenue loss of about $3.35 billion per year to the Nigerian government. The Senate further observes that OML 137 is non-producing because Sinopec-Addax has breached the fiscal incentive package by neglecting to invest in that asset, resulting in huge oil revenue losses to Nigeria. The Senate is concerned that in the fourth quarter of 2018, the lack of competent operations by Sinopec-Addax made 5 Nigerian general managers and their deputies exit the company voluntarily. Further concerned that given the lack of any demonstration by Sinopec-Addax to stay in Nigeria because of the company's unwillingness to purchase an office building and its refusal to invest for production growth, it is shocking that NNPC continues to honor the elapsed gentleman's agreement that made Sinopec-Addax operate these assets and lift 70% of crude oil they are producing, resulting in a huge annual revenue loss to the Nigerian government. The Senate is worried that in 2016, the process of value for money audit of $1.37 billion of cost oil that had been lifted by Addax Petroleum from 2007 to 2014 was initiated with the understanding that it would take 3 months to conclude. The Senate is further worried that since the initiation of the VFM, the Value for Money audit, in 2016, Sinopec-Addax Petroleum has continued to enjoy oil overlift and have frustrated the process of conclusion of the audit to allow for equitable and accurate determination of lifting. Disturbed that the COVID-19 pandemic has negatively impacted on our economy and has thrown Nigeria into debt, meanwhile the federal government has over 1.2 trillion naira of its revenue lying with Sinopec-Addax Petroleum Company. The Senate is also further disturbed that Sinopec-Addax will be leaving an abandonment and decommissioning liability cost of around $750 million at the expiration of their stay in Nigeria come 2022. Accordingly, the Senate mandates the Senate Committee on Public Accounts, Petroleum Upstream, Senate Committee on Gas, and the Senate Committee on Finance to scrutinize the 2001 Fiscal Incentive Package and other federal government agreements with Sinopec-Addax Petroleum Company with a view to ascertaining the level of the company's compliance with these arrangements and make recommendations to the Senate. I so move.
The sponsor of this motion for bringing up this issue. Mr. President, I've had personal relationship with the Chinese company who were responsible for building our satellite, the Chinese Great Wall. And they did a very good work for us. And in the area of transfer of technology, we are nothing to be compared with, because they will never install any problem or any roadblock in transferring technology to developing countries. But unfortunately, of recent, the stories we've been hearing about the mode of operation of Chinese companies in Africa raises an issue that we need to pay particular attention to. In fact, we have had issues where some African countries have to outrightly cancel contracts entered into by Chinese companies because the deal has not been either fair or transparent. And in fact, that in the case of Nigeria, I read, I don't know how far it is true, that an agreement between the Chinese and Nigeria was written in Chinese, which the Nigerian could not even read or understand. And this caused a question of transparency. So this issue of Sinopec calls for serious consideration. I think I really support and second the mover of this motion that the agreement earlier entered to should be investigated. This is not an outright allegation or condemnation, but an invitation that the agreement should be investigated. And I think I support it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator
Mr. President, this is a clear case of compromise on the part of the supervising authorities, okay, in particular NNPC. And this is a pointer to many of the lapses and abuses that are attributable to the production sharing contracts in Nigeria, production sharing contract arrangements in Nigeria. I think as a rider to this motion, I want to suggest that there should be a holistic review of the production sharing arrangements, okay, with the various companies in Nigeria. It is very important because I want to believe that this type of leakage that we are seeing here is also happening in other production sharing contract arrangements in Nigeria. Thank you.
Senator Sanu.
Is that we are talking about petroleum tax issues and levies that have not been honored. And the statistics is not here for which we should, for us to know to the extent of the default. So I would suggest that instead of bringing any other committee into this, we should allow Finance Committee to do it. Because if Finance Committee goes to NNPC to check the books or check from the FIRS, petroleum tax and levies, they will be able to identify what are the issues. So this is my submission, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think the key issue here is the issue of overlift. There was an arrangement on the overlift that resulted in an overlift by, if you know, production sharing contracts are usually, I think, 60-40. But here there's an arrangement where the operator is overlifting in order to meet some liabilities according to them. And this overlift was supposed to be for a number of months, but it has continued for almost 5 or 6 years. I think that is the issue here.
Well, who
NNPC arranged with the concessionaire, with the operator. That is really the issue, and that's what we are trying to investigate to unravel these issues. Yes.
I want to commend the mover of the motion, Senator Gershom Bassey. Mr. President, this is a clear case of thievery, and the earlier we get into it, the better. Mr. President, I want to suggest when we get to prayers that we put together a small ad hoc committee that will look into this. It will consist of public accounts, finance, and upstream, so that together they can unravel whatever is behind this overlifting and ensure that the monies that should accrue to the federal government will come back. We cannot, at the end of their tenure, go into liability of $750 million just for the fun of it. And so, Mr. President, I want to urge you to put this small team together so that they can make sense of what has gone wrong with the Sinopec-Addax Petroleum deal. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, we go to the prayers. Leader, have your seat. We go to the prayer. There's only one prayer, and the leader said he will amend it. The Senate accordingly resolves to mandate the Senate Committee on Petroleum Upstream and Senate Committee on Gas to scrutinize the 2000-2001 Fiscal Incentive Package and other federal government agreements with the Sinopec-Addax Petroleum Company with a view to ascertaining the level of the company's compliance with these agreements and make recommendations. And report back when? Within 2 weeks. Leader, what is your amendment?
I have a feeling that this particular kind of work, given the kind of work that our own statutory committees have been doing, is much more opportune to have an ad hoc committee made up of made up of other people who would have enough time in their hands to really go to, who would think in a much more open way, than statutory committees of the Senate would do. So I would recommend setting up an ad hoc committee to look into this matter.
Senator Aliyu Jika, you are seconding it.
What the motion has moved by the leader, that the ad hoc committee will consist of committees, petroleum.
No, he didn't say that. He just said ad hoc committee. So, prayer 1 and the only prayer as amended. Say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The ad hoc committee membership is as follows. Senator Sabi Abdullahi Aliyu, Chairman. Senator Gershom Bassey, Member. Senator Biodun Olujimi, Member. Senator Ahmad Baba Kaita, Member. Senator Jubril Isah, Member. Senator Nnachi, Member. Senator Clifford Ordia, Member. Senator Haliru Jika, Member. They have 4, is it 2 weeks or 4 weeks? 2 weeks to report back within 2 weeks. 4 weeks. Okay, within 4 weeks.